On today's show, which is definitely going to have unhinged energy, will Kevin Costner sue over his
Yellowstone
contract issues? Then we are going to talk about how the director of Bikeriders pitched his very 90s
Aquaman
film, and it did not work for anybody. After we talk about that, we are going to get into how the creator of
Scream
really wants to back Neve Campbell on her financial disputes with that. And then lastly, we are going to talk about the latest trailer that just dropped for Apple TV. Godzilla's back in
Monarch, Legacy of Monsters.
all that and more. The John Campea Show starts right now. Well, greetings, everybody. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for tuning in, and welcome to this very special edition of the Campea Show, brought to you in part by Mint Mobile. We are going to talk about all kinds of great things, movies, movie news, all sorts of great things with you guys here adding your questions to the conversation as well. We are also a YouTube channel, if you didn't know that already, and you have the option of becoming a member on that YouTube channel so you can submit your amazing questions to us. So be sure you do that. Otherwise, you're listening to us in podcast form. I hope you've liked, I hope you subscribed, I hope you've done all those good things. I'm going to be your host today, Chris Carr, while John is in Vegas, but I am not alone. It is me with the Batman Beyond crew.
Yeah.
We got Mr. Ray Ora.
You know what? I just had the best idea.
What?
A Batman Beyond emoji for our memberships, our members, and a Godzilla one. Those are coming. I've already made up my mind.
Oh,
All
hell
right.
yeah. I love it. Also, Jonathan Voico's here.
Hello, everybody.
And, of course, you are here, dear listener or viewer, so we appreciate you being here. Now, before we get into all of these things that we're going to be discussing today, we wanted to talk a little bit, too, because we had an issue about this yesterday.
Okay.
Jonathan, you were like, fall does not begin in September.
Well, it does September, but September.
September
I said
1st.
it didn't start September 1st. It is September 22nd. It's the fall equinox.
I mean, that's fair and very literal of you.
Yes.
But Trader Joe says otherwise.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Because all their pumpkin shit is in stores now, and I'm going to go nutso-butso on all of it.
You know what
I'm
that
so
means?
excited.
It's fall talk.
Oh, my
We should have had a whole graphic that came in with fall talk.
Ray, can we have a fall graphic?
Oh, yeah. I should have made that, and we should put it in post.
Fall
Be
talk.
perfect. Fall talk.
talk.
It's so special.
So what's going
wonderful.
on?
Oh, man. There's so many good, delicious pumpkin-flavored things. Well, I say delicious. Some of them, are they dog shit? Maybe, but it's pumpkin, so I'm going to buy it.
I will say Trader Joe's, like none other, goes hard on fall,
They
man.
really do.
Everything becomes pumpkin spice.
I never knew-
Everything becomes pumpkin spice.
I know. I never
the
knew. It just occurred to me that the pumpkin actually
Speaking of
rides
pumpkin
into
spice.
Thanksgiving pumpkin pie. I never knew the correlation between the two until now. So, you know what? I don't know what I'm saying.
Where
So
are
let's
you
go-
with the fall flavors, though? Do you like them or do you avoid them?
the flavors? What?
Well, like the pumpkin
like
spice
pumpkin,
things.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
cinnamon and
Oh,
maple.
right. Like if you go to Starbucks.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I am down. My older sister Olive, she always tells me to order her pumpkin spice muffins when I go to I think Mimi's Cafe. It's the
See, I
place
feel like Olive.
Ooh.
I know very little about Olive, but what I've heard, I feel like Olive is definitely a
Health.
like the pumpkin spice fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tried it,
Yeah.
and I really like pumpkin spice muffins. I think I order it out of all the muffins now if I go to a place that has blueberry. What's the other regular flavor they would have? Blueberry chocolate chip. And if they had that pumpkin spice at the side, I'd go with that pumpkin.
You
know
know,
what I mean?
that
I
stuff.
admit, like there was a time when I kind of like was over it, and then I've kind of jumped back on that pumpkin spice latte train.
Oh,
I love
no.
it.
But what I'll do is I reduce, because if you order on the app or whatever, or even if you're there, you can ask just like not so many pumps of the thing. So I do like 2, maybe 3, but like the 5 pumps is too sweet.
It's too much. That's what I do. I get the cold brew with only the pumpkin foam and then none of the add-ins to
And
the
then Laura
the
reminded
coffee.
me I like their new fall thing, which is like their apple crisp flavor.
Is that good? That sounded weird.
I thought it was too, and she told me that I liked it when I had it. I have
Okay.
amnesia apparently, but
You
when
gotta
you get
listen
married,
to
you
your
have a
wife.
wife that reminds you of things.
This is very true.
Yeah, so
You
I
know
gotta
what?
try that next.
You guys are able to do the pumpkin spice drinks. I still haven't gotten there yet. I'm
What's
still
holding
not a
you
fan.
back?
I'm just no. I've tried it. It's just not a. I'm just not a fan of the actual continual drinking.
Yeah.
Of the flavor.
Yeah, you kind of hold up.
That's
on
fair.
it.
Yeah. But the muffins. I actually want to get that right now. Let's see if we could get that delivered during the
All right.
show.
Well, that's the show. So thanks so much for tuning in. We're
All
going to
right,
get muffins.
all
Bye.
right.
Thank you so
Until
much.
next time, guys.
Bye-bye.
Well, yeah, I thought of a good segue here.
Yeah?
We could say Speaking of spice,
there's
one little unhappy pumpkin that's spicy right now.
No,
Oh my
wait, wait,
gosh,
wait, wait,
that's such a good segue.
wait. Before we get into that
Okay.
awesome segue, is it one of your favorite holidays? Halloween is one of you guys?
I don't really care about the holidays. What I love is just, man, fall is my favorite time of year. It's just like this. It's not winter, but it's cool, and the leaves are changing, and I love the weather. I love the light, that half light you get in the sky during fall. And like early spring is nice too. I don't like the extremes like winter or summer.
I'm a Christmas kid.
Here's
Not
what
that
I've
we
been
get
doing.
extremes here.
Here's what I've been doing to spice up the Halloween for like the past 5 years. I've been buying like one Spider-Man action figure. This year I'm going to go different. I'm going to buy one Spider-Man and one Spider-Gwen. And every year that I've done, the first kid that comes to the house in a Spider-Man costume,
You
I
throw
give
it
them
out?
that actual action figure.
That's so
I've
cool.
loved doing that because it's kind
So
of
instead
sad.
of candy, you kind of give like a
It's
action
kind,
figure
It's
thing.
kind of sad because last year there was a kid with his little sister who was dressed as a princess. When I gave him the action
because then you
figure,
like leaving someone
she
out.
was so sad, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it different this year. I'm gonna actually put Spider-Gwen in there, Spider-Man. It doesn't matter if you're a girl wearing the Spider-Man costume. You'll get a pick of
Just
yours.
as long as one of them is either a
you'll get a
Spider-Man or
pick.
Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, you'll get something. So let's do it.
You're gonna get 3 kids
That-
this year.
That's my excitement every year.
That's
is
so
doing that.
cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do that. We had a Five Below open up near us, and I live in an apartment complex, so most of the time kids don't trick or treat door to door
Right.
there. But sometime I go over to my friend Tanya's house. Tanya and Scott, they live over in Glendale, and I probably shouldn't say where they live.
What's their exact address?
There you go.
She's like doxing them on the show.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, you guys. But they actually have trick or treaters and things, so that
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
so cute to do with them.
Yeah, it's because Spider-Man's my all-time favorite comic
Yeah.
book character, so I
Same.
just chose him. Whoever's dressed like him.
Oh, man.
No one's ever dressed like Blade. That's why.
I would love to see a kid dressed as Blade. That would be amazing. Oh,
right.
wonderful. Well, speaking of Blade, things that haven't been made, Kevin Costner's not coming back for Yellowstone, as we all know.
Yeah.
Right?
Season 6, right?
That little sad pumpkin. So Kevin Costner will probably be taking legal action over his failed contract negotiations. Now, this comes to us from our friends over at IndieWire. They were talking about how he did negotiate, and there have been a lot of issues with this too, where they said there were creative issues. He tried to break the logjam. They walked away. And he's probably going to go to court over this. The actor noted that he was offered $24 million for season 6 and $7 million if greenlit. Now, one of the reasons why I think this is an important story right now is because there has been so much talk about how Kevin Costner is a diva and how he did not do the negotiation process. He didn't want to even be on set. He wanted to shoot barely any days. He wanted to have his days reduced by so much. And then his camp was saying how all of that was absolute nonsense.
I hope so.
I hope so too. They say in here too, oh gosh, where's my quote? I'm so sorry. It's ridiculous, and anyone suggesting it shouldn't believe it for 1 second. As everyone who knows anything about Kevin is well aware, he's incredibly passionate about the show and has always gone way above and beyond to ensure its success. Now, Paramount did release a statement too that's a pretty kind of mud is mud thing. There's not really anything going on here of just, we have no news to report. Kevin Costner is a big part of Yellowstone, and we hope that that's the case for a long time to come. Thanks to the brilliant mind of Taylor Sheridan, we're always working on franchise expansions, yada, yada, yada. And then goes on to talk about how Matthew McConaughey is really phenomenal and they're excited to work with him. So,
But is that okay? But is that studio talk for? But Matthew McConaughey is really nice.
Yeah.
that's how it feels.
Yeah.
Right.
And then like they just don't pick up the phone for Kevin.
Exactly. And I truly, especially because, he's been a director. He's a very dedicated actor and filmmaker. I can't see this man, and maybe this is true. Maybe he was saying he only wanted to work a certain number of days and everything. I just can't see somebody with his work ethic saying, no, I want all this money and I barely want to work on the show, especially because it's been such a prestige thing for him. Back in the 80s and 90s, people were constantly talking about how Kevin Costner wasn't a great actor and kind of making fun of his style. And this is a show that really solidified he's great at what he does.
Right.
Obviously, Dances with Wolves is really wonderful as well. But I feel like Yellowstone really reinvigorated his career for a lot of people, too, and made it so that he is a prestigious actor who's sought after. He was getting those nominations. He was getting those wins.
Yeah.
I can't imagine him wanting to do less for more. I think he'd want to continue telling great stories. How do you guys feel?
For somebody that knows of Kevin Costner, like anytime I've seen him in anything, I didn't think he was terrible. He's a good actor to me. The thing about these articles that were written is me, even somebody who goes by, don't judge a person just by what you hear. It's still hard not to like think about those things when it's multiple sources that are reporting the same thing. So if this is not him or how he is, I would for sure, or like the story being told is really not the way it went, I would for sure go to court to make sure that that's heard, or like, because even for me who never, I'm not saying I didn't care about Kevin Costner, but nothing he did outside of his acting bothered me or affected me. Just hearing those things gave me a little like, oh wow, like maybe if I hear another story about him, then I'll be like, oh yeah, because on Yellowstone he was
right.
like,
they kind of set the stage, right?
Yeah. So it kind of gave me a different mindset.
Yeah.
When I think of him. So if it's all not true, yes, take him to court. They really did some damage to people who don't even really know you, or like
especially nowadays where you get canceled very quickly, there's the court of public opinion, and that can really end your career.
Yeah.
And I will say, just to play devil's advocate, he could have wanted those hours reduced because he is embarking on directing a passion project of his. I believe it's Horizon, something about the West.
Yes.
He's a big Western aficionado. And so I can see him maybe wanting less time to spend more time devoted to doing that. But this whole idea, too, of like being reduced to working for a week for the rest of a season, I don't buy it.
Horizon American West.
Thank you. There we go. And also, like, Kevin Costner, in my opinion, can do whatever he wants. After he did Waterworld, he devoted so much time and money to saving our oceans. When we had that big oil spill, it was a bunch of tech that he supported and backed financially that helps clean up our oceans.
And it's the last season of Yellowstone on right now. Is the last one he's supposed to be on, season 5? Do we know? Because announcing the next guy before your last
before
season
your tenure's over,
it's kind of a little.
It's a little sus.
They found McConaughey real quick.
I love McConaughey too.
I mean, the article said that the first few seasons he did 65 days of shooting for each season, and then season 5, the first half he reportedly demanded that it be reduced to 50 days. Now, did they acquiesce and give him 50 days? Was it not? It's not clear. You know what I mean? There's so many things in here. And did he really demand, or was he asking? And then it says for the second batch of episodes for this final season, he requested that all his shooting be done in a week. Now, I don't even know how that would be possible unless his exposure in the second half of season 5 is very minimal.
Yeah.
In which case, it could actually be reasonable that he asked for that, because he might only be in, like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes worth of the second half.
Exactly.
So we don't actually know how much he had to do and if that was even feasible or if it was. So it's just like a he said, she said kind of thing. We really don't know. And maybe the truth is somewhere actually in the middle.
Probably. It probably is.
One thing, though, if he gets, this is my theory, his lawyer wants to kick up some mud. And if they do go through with this, they're probably hoping for a settlement outside of court because they don't want to go to court because it's expensive. But also, if there's discovery and it turns out there's records that show, well, in fact, he was making these demands and these were impossible and he was not working with us and we were doing our due diligence, it's going to look bad on him.
Oh, absolutely.
So sometimes you could say, oh, I'm going to take this to court, but it might backfire. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's okay, we'll do it then, maybe. But based on how a television show works, too, I mean, you're lucky if you get through maybe 8 pages of a script in a day, and that is you hustling.
Yeah.
That is you really,
and this
really
is on
moving and grooving.
location.
Exactly. And often animals are involved, and nature itself,
and you're
too.
dealing with sunlight.
Yep.
And the sun doesn't stop for production, so, yeah.
So there's a lot to think about here. But guys, we want to turn it over to you. Let us know what you think about this. Do you think Kevin Costner should follow legal action on this? Do you think that the studio's in the right? Do you think Kevin's in the right? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. With that down, let's get into a kind of fun story. I mean, what is a pitch if not a negotiation as well? And we're going to talk about a kind of failed pitch here. So the director of the upcoming Bikeriders, Jeff Nichols, pitched a very 90s style Aquaman movie to the studios, and even he didn't think that it was something feasible. He talked about how it would not be made. Now, this is also from over on IndieWire. He says, I still have scenes from Aquaman in my head that would have been good. They would have been quite different from the film that was made. It wasn't even feasible. I liked the older Aquaman, like when he had a harpoon for a hand. He was a fallen king, and his son had died. He was in mourning. Obviously, from this brief pitch, you can see it would have sold hundreds of dollars worth of tickets. And I love that he takes the Mickey out of his own thing here.
Yeah.
And he goes on to talk about how it was fun to kind of noodle and posture on some of these things. But I got to say, too, are you guys familiar with that kind of 90s style
Not that
Aquaman?
one. This was all
I've
new to
never-
me, and I'm like, I don't know if I like that.
Man.
But okay.
So I got introduced to this version late in the game because when you watch some of the Justice League cartoons, he's got the harpoon hand.
Oh yeah, I always wondered what that was
Yeah.
about.
So this came about in like 94 Aquaman issue number 2. And so basically he's in this skirmish with this piranha man. It's Cryptus, but not the actual Greek monster because that's a female whirlpool. This is a piranha dude. And his hand gets shoved into a piranha pit essentially, and his hand is gnawed off, and he loses connection with talking to animals too at that time. It's a pretty dark storyline. And throughout the years, he's kind of had he had a kind of nanotech hand at one point, and then he gets a magical water hand at another point. But it was this kind of darker, gritty DC kind of thing of
Right.
the handless Aquaman with his facial hair and his harpoon hand and so would that have been something you guys would have watched?
The thing that interests me about that,
As in Elseworld, yes.
Yeah.
But not. Go ahead.
yeah. The thing that interests me about an angle like that is for some reason I want to go back to superheroes that are vulnerable, that can get hurt, that don't seem indestructible. I mean, maybe seeing Jason Momoa in a role where he's actually bleeding at from his mouth because he's just gotten beaten up, but yet he still talks to fish and is able to overcome obstacles that regular people can. That seems more appealing to me than even though I love the first Aquaman, it seemed like so fantastic, which is great. I mean, but a part of me wants to see a more realist take on all of our superheroes, maybe in general, like an Aquaman who could get his hand bitten off by fish, which he's supposed to be able to talk to.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I mean, it may not go on the big screen. This man they might need to open a new channel like the Lifetime channel for these sort of
This
one
week on
takes. But
Lifetime,
you know
Arthur,
what? I'd
King
be
of
down
the
to
Sea,
see
gets
it.
his hand gnawed off by a piranha.
Just because Jason Momoa, we've never seen him in any situation where we felt he's gonna lose. He's not gonna.
Well, you gotta watch some more Game of Thrones, buddy.
Oh, really? I haven't seen it. Okay, well.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great point, though, too, because we have all these superheroes now who, sure, they have super strength and they have heightened strength and all of that, but not all of them are invulnerable.
Right.
But it does feel that way in a lot of these movies of everyone can deflect bullets or blades or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does kind of remind me of the Edgar Wright situation with Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Now, in that case, it was written and probably ready to go, but by the time they had gotten to it, it was like the MCU was already the steamroller had started.
Yeah.
And they're like, this would not fit in our greater picture, right? With this situation with Aquaman, it was a pitch.
Yeah.
But it does seem like that kind of situation, like this won't work in our DCEU. How would it have? Because the way things lined up. You know what I mean?
I'm
They'd
going to
have
be a
to
little
rewrite
mean.
the
What
DCEU.
has worked?
No, but I'm just saying, they would have had to retool their entire plans just
That's
for this
fair.
one, and they weren't doing at the time the Elseworlds yet, right?
Yeah,
So this
that's a
could
great
have
point.
been an Elseworlds kind of thing.
I could have been
And
super fun Elseworlds.
maybe Gunn likes this idea for an Elseworlds at some point. Who knows?
Maybe.
Let's not forget to mention that this whole interview took place on one of our friends' podcast. What's it called? Happy Confused,
Happy, sad, confused.
Sad Confused. Just I'm just trying to mention them because John always does.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that interview was based or took place during that podcast, I believe. So that podcast seems to be getting a lot of info out.
And he
Had some good guests.
he mentioned, it would be an older Aquaman. So I'm curious who he would have thought in his mind's eye, could have fallen into the realm of
Just
that,
a handless Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
I'd watch the shit out of that movie. Oh
Yeah.
my God. I watched that man be Santa with a harmonica. I'd watch him have a harpoon hand. I love that dude.
Yeah.
He's incredible. We'll talk more about him later on in the show. But guys, let us know what you think about this very 90s Aquaman pitch. Do you think it could have worked in the DCEU? Do you think it was dead in the water upon arrival? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Now, before we get into our next stories, guys, we are going to take a quick break just so we can thank the sponsors of this show, the good folks over at Mint Mobile and DraftKings.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Mint Mobile. Signing your life away to a big wireless provider is kind of like being trapped on a roller coaster from hell. Sure, it looks like fun at first. They probably even threw in a free phone, but now you can't get off. Month after month of insane bills and unexpected thrills, like overages and surprise fees. If that sounds like your current big wireless plan, it's time to get off the ride with Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are just $15 a month. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for just $15 a month. You guys know before I came to Mint Mobile, I was paying triple what I am paying now on the standard big wireless plan, and I will never go back. All plans come with unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get your new unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped right to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, DraftKings. Can you believe we've had 7 months without an NFL game? Crazy, right? Well, good thing that's over. NFL is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving you a can't-miss offer for Week 1. This week, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you just bet $5 on any NFL game. DraftKings is hooking everyone up with game day greatness. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every single game day this September. Check the app to see what you get. So download now and use the code CAMPEA to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5. That's code CAMPEA only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
And thank you so much.
Not John Campea. It's the non-Campea show. It's Chris
Campea
Carr.
Show. Thank you so much to Mint Mobile and DraftKings for making this episode possible. We really appreciate it. All right. Now with that down, let's talk a little bit more about some more failed negotiations. It's going to be the theme of today.
Yeah, and pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice and people not being nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're doing today. Well, this is actually pretty sweet. The creator of Scream is backing Neve Campbell about her pay discrepancy issues. So as some of you may know, we reported about this months ago, but Neve Campbell obviously did not return to the Scream franchise, and it's because she was offered what she felt was an incredibly lowball offer that wasn't worthy of her time or talent or what she's brought to this franchise. You know, it's one of the highest, like revered, well, not revered, but I guess highest grossing franchises in the horror genre, right?
Right.
Started out satirical and became something more.
It's got such a big fan base.
It has
too.
a huge following. Every time I think of Scream, I think of Taylor Gonzalez and what a diehard fan he is. And, you know, obviously Neve Campbell, as Sidney Prescott, was the face of this franchise. She was, you know, akin to Jamie Lee Curtis, in my opinion, when it comes to Final Girls. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that same kind of Final Girl thing that Jamie Lee Curtis can bring to this. So she had said previously that she felt like she was getting this lowballed offer mostly because of her gender, and saying that how if this was a man leading the franchise, probably would have been offered more money. That's what she personally felt. And that as a woman, she really needed to make sure that she stood up for herself and negotiated properly and walked away from something that she felt just wasn't financially viable for her or right for her. And the creator of the Scream franchise, Kevin Williamson, while on the Happy Horror Time podcast, was like, yup, give her the money. All right, this is what they said. This is in Variety. I know exactly where she's coming from. I know her well. I love and adore her. And that's what she did, and it's great for her. I love everyone involved with Scream, and all I can say is pay her the money. Yes, you heard it, everyone. That's what I would do. I would give her the money. Williamson added, I'm sure there's a number they can agree on that will make them both happy, so hopefully one day they'll figure that all out. Who knows? One day. Now, I think we should mention, too, that Kevin Williams was not involved in the most recent Scream film.
The last one he
6.
wrote was 4, right?
Yes.
So
the last one was that the last one with Neve?
I thought she did 5 as well.
Did she do 5
She did
too?
5.
Okay. So we do need to make sure we make note of that. But, she's been part of this franchise for 25 years.
yeah, since 1990.
But here's
Something.
but here's the other part I just thought of right now. Neve Campbell. Let's
96.
see how old is she right now? If this is going to be an ongoing franchise, maybe did they feel that they wanted to go with a new?
Well, they probably
thing?
want a new generation. But,
And they have inserted in new people and had
She's
younger
49.
folks in it,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
but I mean, Courtney Cox is in it still.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, she's
you-
49. Okay.
When I watched Scream 6, the Neve Campbell, for me, her presence was sorely missed in there.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been the fiber that has brought all the movies together, and just for her not to be around, I don't even remember Scream 6. I remember Scream 5 more than Scream 6. I don't even know if they even mentioned Neve Campbell in Scream 6
No, I don't
or
think
what
so.
happened to her. I forgot.
Oddly
I don't
enough,
know.
though, here's the thing, though. The counter to that is Scream 6 was the highest grossing domestic and worldwide.
Exactly.
And it's like, well, we didn't need her in this. It would be great to bring her back for nostalgia. Nostalgia, she's only been out for one film, but on the other side, it's like, well, this grossed 100 and almost 69 million worldwide. And let me see, the last one was
137.
137, so
okay.
it's tracking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still made
know,
money with it.
4 did the least with like 97 worldwide, but it was tracking down until they took an 11-year gap and then
That's
came
true.
back with the like Scream, but it's Scream 5. They call it Scream.
Yeah.
And then without her, it's like, well, I don't know.
And that is the fly in the ointment. So I'm really glad you bring that up because it is hard to negotiate when your absence was felt, but didn't have that financial loss there. That's a really, really tricky thing here. Because you also did have, Hayden Panettiere came back. You have Jenna Ortega. And I believe this was pre-Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. So we didn't have her as that huge star that we know her as. We didn't have her with her nominations for that role and everything. But we did have a pretty beloved cast, an interesting new version of Scream 2, where they were dealing with somebody in New York on a subway, on the run, going through bodegas and everything. So it kind of reinvigorated the franchise too. But
Right.
Sidney Prescott is Scream.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not a horror person. I know I'm not the guru on all of this, but this is a franchise that I'm familiar-ish with. I love the first movie so much. It's so good.
Especially if you don't kill her off like on screen, just to if at least give the fans who've been following the franchise some respect. You don't just we can't agree, we'll just not write her in this next movie. I mean, that just felt like at least give her an ending. Interesting fact is Scream 5 budget was 24 million.
Scream 6 was, I was just looking at that. Scream 6
was
is 35.
million. So they spent more, so they could have gave them that money to
Well, they spent more, but I mean, it could have been location. I have no idea because I
Yeah.
didn't see the 6 yet. I
Yeah.
kind of want to see it, but
I didn't see this latest one either.
I
but-
thought.
this thing's kind of a
did?
cash
Okay.
cow. It's. I'm not saying it's bringing in like 400 or 500 million, but based on the budget, even with marketing,
It does well.
it's profitable.
It's a
so-
profitable franchise. And I do, just before people in the comments talk about actors wanting money or how could this be about gender or anything, historically, it has been a fact that women have been offered far less money than their male counterparts. That's just how it's been. There's no getting around that. So I will say there's absolute validity to this argument of hers. I completely understand and support her wanting to get her nickel, especially when it's been her propelling this franchise for
Right,
many,
right.
many years. But I agree also with what, Kevin says in here of there's a number that everyone could come to and feel good about, I think.
And then, but the thing is, what I remember about Scream 6, I'm not sure what role she would have played if it would have been bigger than Scream 5. Because even in Scream 5, she was there, but it wasn't like the main. She shared it with people.
Well, maybe
And the way the story went after Scream 5 and seeing how Scream 6 ended, it could have been she was gonna get less screen time the further they get on. I just believe in the whole not business side of it, more of the she's worked hard for this. Give her what she deserves one last time, something like that. I believe in that. I know that probably will make companies broke by going with your heart and not with your with
can't
the numbers
always
on
go that way.
Yeah.
But I think for her, especially the budgets that they spend, not a lot, and just her being around, I think she should have they could at least worked out somewhere where even if they had to kill her off in the Scream 6, at least do that.
We don't know what she was asking for. I can't imagine it was like, well, I want $20 million for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, because of her exposure in the franchise, what the franchise makes.
Yeah.
So I just can't imagine it was like.
Who distributes these movies too?
Paramount. So it was obvious at the end of Scream 6 that they're going with a new crew. Yes. I actually starting to remember it now as we talk. And that group is actually pretty entertaining, and they do not match with the Sydney character.
Yeah. Okay.
Who was more serious. This group is a bunch of there's a jock, I believe, and then there's and he has a twin sister girl who's they're really funny. So that would be I see where they're going.
The tone is the shift.
Yeah. So I don't know, it's tough. I would have paid her if you asked me. Maybe the company would have gone broke if I did that, but that's just me.
Well,
I don't know.
Again, this is always going to show my inherent bias, but and I really like the president of Paramount. I adore him at CinemaCon. He's so fun, and he's always believed in movie theaters.
Right.
He really, really tries to work on the side of the exhibitors and everything.
Right.
But we can't get away from the fact right now, with everyone negotiating things, right? Everyone negotiating their pay, that these presidents and CEOs are making 300 times what their lowest level employee makes. Obviously, Neve Campbell is not the lowest level employee here, right? But there is a lot of wiggle room here when we keep giving CEOs bonuses and everything. And that's just my opinion, but that's how I feel about it.
And this is my respect for Paramount, or how much I like Paramount. Every time I read a story like this, it always surprises me when I see, it's Paramount that's behind it.
Yeah.
Because it's no, this can't be. In my head, it's this can't be Paramount. Not the ones that put the best presentations on at CinemaCon.
Not the people who brought us Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
And it's going to bring us Sonic 3.
Hell yeah.
Please tell me it's not them that's not going to pay this deserving actress. The last time I saw her was Twisted Metal. She has a part in there.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So it's good to see her on there. I mean, she's doing some work. Hopefully, if anything, they figure this out and they at least write her character off, because it would make no sense.
Just give her a send off.
Give her whatever. Courtney Cox got a send off. You know what I mean? So give her due at least. You know what I mean? Let's make this right.
I agree. Well, guys, though, the question is, how do you feel about it? Do you think that Kevin Williamson is correct in backing Neve Campbell? Do you think Neve is making a mountain out of a molehill here? What do you think about all this pay discrepancy stuff? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. All right, now we're getting to the big story, the mega story, the kaiju of a story. We got a trailer with some monsters, y'all. We have our Monarch Legacy of Monsters trailer for Apple TV. And guys, I'm juiced about this. And I know we were talking about this before the show. It's a lot of kind of reused stuff. It's some things we know already. But it still really moved the needle for me. I'm excited.
Check this out. I just thought about this. December 1st, Godzilla -1 releases in theaters. This November 17th.
This is November, and it'll run through January. You're going to get a whole lot of Godzilla.
I'm going to get some Godzilla. And you know what? This Godzilla, even though it's big and it can't help but destroy everything it goes through, it's way different from the -1 Godzilla for sure. The -1 Godzilla looks like it's about to
Well, that one is the antagonist. This
Yeah,
one's a
this
hero.
one, it's interesting takes. I love that we're about to get a whole bunch of Godzilla towards the end of the year.
Well, and a bunch of kaiju in general,
Right.
too, since it's the legacy of all of them. And this is supposed to bring the Monsterverse together.
Yes.
You know, we've got that cameo from John Goodman in the trailer, tying in Kong Skull Island. We know that we're going to deal with the actual kind of company that deals with all these kaiju and everything. We weren't sure, but I postured that maybe Rodan flies over a scene in this.
That's
Yeah,
what I
I
thought
wasn't
it was.
sure. It looks like a Rodan type creature, but
Yeah,
I
it's
couldn't
some kind of
tell because
pterodactyl.
its tail looked a little different. So it might be just monsters on an island. Even that could even be part of a flashback. We don't know
That's
when
very true.
when that takes place because this thing time jumps.
Oh, yeah.
So
I love the aspect that the society is living with this threat constantly. Like you saw it in the emergency
yeah.
signs that it's a part of life now, and
Yeah.
it's
Right
almost
there.
like, yeah, it's such a great for them to set up the world like this where everything actually makes sense because usually Godzilla is like erupts and then I don't know what everything's back to normal. Like
Yeah.
no one thinks it's gonna happen again. I'm glad that they show these little things where it's like, hey,
they live in this world.
we know they exist. The series seems to be about uncovering the mysteries or secrets of Monarch, right? Which I never understood. They were a research company that was studying these things,
Tracking them, I guess, from the late 40s to the 50s.
but they wouldn't tell the public about it.
Yeah,
or
it was
something like
super
that.
secret,
So
yeah,
it's like
right.
the alien things that we go through every day.
This is their Area 51.
if I remember correctly, they even like kind of posed it like, oh, those like nuclear tests in Bikini Islands
that shot was
were because they were actually trying to like fight back Godzilla, and they weren't really just nuclear tests. Yeah, so
great. That's
I
why it
love
was
all that stuff.
awesome when you see the side of his fin and he's going to that beautiful island.
Looks great. How are you guys feeling about the Russells playing,
Yeah.
different versions of each other?
Walmart Captain America.
No,
I got him right
you
here
know
on the
what?
screen.
You guys call him Walmart Captain
He's
America,
great, though.
but he played that character.
So well.
I
No,
like
no,
this
but we're
actor,
just
man.
saying.
Yeah.
We're just
I like-
saying.
yeah.
If you
That's
had
who he is.
if you had a world where, and it's nothing about the actor or the character,
Yeah.
It's incredible.
that's fine. We're just saying if you had a world where you had Chris Evans, actual Captain America, and then you had
Yeah.
a U.S. agent, you'd be like Captain America.
Yeah, right.
That's all.
Right.
In a fight,
Right, because he bleeds.
Yeah.
He bled.
He
But
bled.
yeah. Wyatt Russell, I've only had a short sample of what he could do, but I really enjoy the roles he's been in. He's a neppy baby, right? Neppy baby. But he goes beyond because I didn't even know he was Kurt Russell's son
Well-
until we watched this.
oh yeah,
the
this and they
teaser.
play
You
off
guys
of each
told me.
other.
Yeah.
So like, I
Well,
love that
he's-
he's making his own.
He's one of those actors too who's put in the work. He's done a lot of indie films, and obviously too, anytime when you're coming from a place of privilege, he probably could take whatever acting classes he
Right,
wanted. He probably
right.
could do a lot of other things, and he didn't have student debt. But you can't negate that this kid is a great kid. He's my age.
Yeah.
He's a great actor. He is a phenomenal actor, and the reason why we all hate him so much as U.S. agent is because he's so good
Good
at
at it,
playing
yeah.
that role.
The only time I ever get into the kind of, I'll just say kind of stupid Nepo baby stuff is when they truly don't deserve to be there because their talent
Yes.
is like, why are you even on this show?
Yeah, where it's you shouldn't be making TikToks. What's happening here?
But, I've had advantages in my life and
Sure.
I've had doors open, but I've always said like, it's what you do when you get through the door.
Right.
Now if suddenly you're not getting kicked out that door despite, terrible performance, then you're a Nepo baby.
Yeah.
But if,
But he turns in great stuff.
and he did the
He's
work like you
good.
said. He's been turning in it. He's not like suddenly like he wasn't suddenly just in A-list movies all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I look forward to seeing how both of them try to connect and play the same character at different times in their life. That's going to be so interesting. I'm very curious, and I understand this is more about the people than the monsters. Well, of course, it's Apple TV. I expect to have some monsters every now and then,
I am, by the way, happy that it's Apple TV.
Yeah.
It gives me a lot of
Yes.
encouragement.
Yeah.
but don't tell me we already seen every money shot that we're going to get. Of
I
the
don't think
monsters.
so. Over 10 episodes, that would be a very small amount.
And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Godzilla, this shot where you go close up, he's been eating some cheese puffs or something because my God, when I look at this version of Godzilla, he's the cutest big lizard that's just trying to
So
live his life.
you're gonna get that, and then you're gonna get this one.
The Shin, yeah,
It was just terrifying.
yeah, the -1. That
Nightmare.
-1 didn't have enough cheese puffs.
I would say this -1 is a nice cross between the one that we're getting on, for the Monsterverse, and this compared to the Shin. I feel like the Shin Godzilla went a little too ridiculous. His mouth was a little too like it reminded me a little bit of the Canadians in South Park. But I like this. And I know
Godzilla
it's
running
a segue,
around going,
but
"You're not my buddy, guy."
I'm liking both Godzillas like you.
What do you guys think the show is going to concentrate more? What do you think? Do we get a sense of what the show theme is going to be? Is it going to be like like a mystery? Carmen Sandiego uncover the truth, sort of. Or what do you think it's gonna?
I think some of that in there. I think this is connecting all of the Monsterverse, which is very exciting because this show gives me homework in the best way. Of I get to go watch all these movies in chronological order. Of their time periods that take place in, so I can really watch this and have like a real mindful viewing of it. But I also think it's probably going to do a lot of nature versus human speculation of what is our responsibility in disrupting ecosystems, in stepping in for certain kinds of disasters, certain kinds of monsters, and is it our world to control or theirs?
It appears Monarch is trying to shut up Kurt and Wyatt Russell's character. He seems to know something that he's trying to warn people, I believe, or warn the public that they're trying to stop him because maybe government always fears what will the public do when they get a hold of this knowledge?
Yeah.
Will they freak out? Will we, whatever it is, it kind of reminds me of, remember The Day After Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Dennis Quaid, he knew what was going to happen, like the thing, and he kept warning, and then some people said, that's a joke, and some people took him seriously. It kind of feels like this, we're going to get a slow burn of, there's more than Godzilla.
Yeah.
Right? That's what this is about.
There's
right?
Godzilla +1.
And it's the choice of, if you're a government, what do you do when there's someone that knows that and can prove it, but you want to announce it on your own time or not?
Well, I will. You know what's? It's kind of interesting because you bring that up, and that's what I thought. Why am I Walter White? Why am I going blank on his name?
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston's character in the first Godzilla. I thought that's what they were gonna do with that, and then he ends up dying. And very abruptly, like smash cut to them just zipping up his body.
That was such a foul thing.
They're like, where's my dad? It's like
30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes. Bye.
I wasn't a fan of how that was executed.
They're like, shoot, we forgot to show him die.
Yeah.
Oh, just show a body bag getting zipped.
It feels like like the shot got messed up and they went, well,
just show a body bag.
no time for reshoots.
But
Whee!
because they're like, you are hiding something, and I thought, he's going to be exposing, so maybe we're getting that with Kurt.
I'm just excited.
I hope so.
I'm very excited for this Godzilla couple months we have coming up.
I'm super pumped of it. Now, this is going to drop on November 17th. First 2 episodes are going to be dropping, and then we've got 8 episodes following that. So
yes, through to January 15th or something like that.
Week after week of kaiju, potentially.
I think Invasion is going to take me into this Godzilla thing.
Oh, you could ride that in?
Yeah, ride that.
Start this, go to the movies, C-1, come back, keep going through January.
Get you guys Christmas presents, or I could skip that, and then I could. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you don't have to.
No.
You don't have to. You can do whatever you want. Well, guys, the question is for you. What did you think of this latest trailer for Monarch Legacy of Monsters? Let us know if this moved the needle for you, if you're excited, if you're not excited, and let us know why, too. All right? Now, next, folks, we are going to get into our questions from our members. But before we do that, we are going to take one last break, and we're going to thank the good folks over at HelloFresh.
Guys, we want to thank a sponsor of this video, HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Kickstart a fresh fall routine with HelloFresh. HelloFresh handles all the meal planning and shopping to deliver everything you need to cook up a tasty meal right at home. They do the hard part, and you get to take the credit. HelloFresh takes the stress out of mealtime by delivering fresh ingredients and easy recipes right to your door. So this fall, skip that extra trip to the grocery store and have dinner ready in no time with America's #1 meal kit. Like we've mentioned before, Ann and I are both working professionals, and mealtime is sometimes a bit stressful. That's why we absolutely love HelloFresh. It's nutritious, it's delicious, and we actually have a really good time making dinner together. So guys, go to HelloFresh.com/ 50Campea and use the code 50Campea for 50% off plus 15% off the next 2 months. That's HelloFresh.com/50Campea and use the code 50Campea. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
Did it again. Force a habit. I keep going to John Shot.
And thank you so much to the folks over at HelloFresh for making this episode of the show possible. All right, Jonathan, let's get into some questions.
All right, Carmelo with a long one here, but we're going to do it because it's Batman Beyond Day and we're crazy. All right. Hey, Batman Beyond crew, best crew.
Woo, woo.
I have 2 anime recommendations. One is Ranking of Kings, and the synopsis is born to a pair of mighty giants. Boji was cursed, stripped of all his giant strength and size, and born deaf. Most of his subjects and retainers consider him completely unfit to be king. And the other one is Jujutsu Kaisen, follows the story of Yuji Itadori, an ordinary boy who crosses paths with Megumi Fushiguro, a jujutsu sorcerer, searching for a powerful cursed object known as Ryomen. Okay, I should be getting paid for this. Extra. Ryomen Sukuna's finger. Unintentionally, Yuji's friends unseal the cursed object, attracting dangerous curses to their location.
Is that the one with the
So one
panda
is
bear?
Jujutsu Kaisen, and the other one
Ranking of
is
Kings.
Ranking of Kings.
Yeah, I'm looking up Ranking
Ooh.
of Kings,
Okay.
but the next
Ranking
one.
of Kings sounds cool.
Because Ranking of
I mean, they
Kings
both
sounds
sound
very
cool,
interesting, but that Jujutsu one, I love magic. A curse? Come on, let's go.
I'm not sure if that's the one with the panda bear. I'm not sure, but if that's the one with the panda bear and you recommend it, that's for sure.
I'll
Let's
look it
go.
up, and we'll
Yeah.
move on, and you can get back to us.
Yeah,
Thank you
'cause
so much for
I
this.
don't know how to spell it. That's the problem.
We'll copy paste from
Yeah,
the thing. Yeah.
Red One Real Talk says, hello to the British Broadcasting Company, BBC. A frequent debate between friends and I is whether Pixar or DreamWorks has a superior run in the 2000s, and I was curious if you have a preference between the two. Pixar gave us Up and The Incredibles, but DreamWorks gave us Kung Fu Panda, Shrek, and Madagascar. I lean with Pixar.
I do too.
If Taylor
Pixar?
were here, he'd be like, this isn't even a question.
Yeah, Taylor would be like DreamWorks hands down.
Can we answer that in British dial?
Well, I don't know what that is, but you could do it in the British
I mean,
dialect.
that's
We
what
can
I
try.
think British is, but it's not.
Yeah. Not really
If
close.
you want to work on a British dialect,
But what would you say?
can hire my
DreamWorks or
husband.
Pixar?
DreamWorks or Pixar? Who made Mega Man? Megamind.
Megamind, that's DreamWorks.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you
But
team
was that in the...
Well, you also don't like Pixar movies that much.
No, I just don't choose to watch them because it's just not choose to watch them, but it's not something I go to theaters for. Like I
Yeah.
watch it at home. I don't know. But you know what? It has to be Pixar because they made Wall-E,
Wall-E.
the greatest robot
Love Wally.
on this earth.
It's actually one of my... I like the story of Wall-E, but I get annoyed with Wall-E, Eva, Wall-E, Eva, like through the whole movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
Drives me insane.
I love The Incredibles so much. That is what my senior thesis symposium paper was about.
I haven't seen it.
Which one?
The Incredibles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
All right. Well, we got CJ Rebirth who writes, Chris, did you hear about the Disney 100th anniversary short that we'll be playing before Wish? It's supposed to have almost every character from all of Disney's animated movies, feature about 40 voice actors reprising their characters, and Josh Gad's Olaf will have a scene with his idol Robin Williams' Genie. Interesting.
Oh, very interesting. I'm wondering if they're going to get the guy who did the voice for Genie in the second film in the series, who was kind of the Robin Williams sounded like. I hope they don't do any sketchy reusing of clips
Or they'll just,
AI.
if they
Reusing of
reuse
clips
a
is
clip,
fine.
it's fine because it's a montage of old clips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the family's blessing.
yeah.
I would appreciate that. But no, I hadn't heard about that short. That's very exciting. Oh my gosh. I remember, we've talked about Taylor so much today. I miss you so much, buddy.
Taylor Swift?
Taylor
Taylor
Swift,
Gonzalez?
Taylor Gonzalez.
Oh, okay.
I remember when he was like, you guys, they're doing 100 movies at the El Capitan for Disney. And we were like,
Like, cool.
no, sweetie, that can't happen. We can't. We'll all live at the El Capitan then. And he was like, oh, you're correct. It was cute. I miss him.
All right, so we got Dildar, not the glorious, just Dildar today.
Ooh.
Anyone playing Starfield? Well, Ray is. I'd like to be, but I'm waiting to get a Xbox Series X.
I know.
I'm enjoying it so far, and also laughing at people who are being big babies over it having pronouns, even though they've been in games for a long time. Baldur's Gate 3 did it, and I have heard no one complaining about that. Well, that's because they're all just a bunch of little cackling hen babies who just have to have grievances about everything.
Yeah.
They complain. These are the people who complain about, oh, people are too sensitive today, but then they make YouTube channels where they're all sensitive about everything.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you?
Why do pronouns hurt you? Like that's kind of what I have the issue with is if anyone wants to be referred to as the way they see themselves, why is that a problem?
And it's in a game. It's
And
just
it's
a
in a
written story, so
game.
who cares?
You know
That's
what's funny?
insane.
Is
It's like you have to control. You
I never
have to.
noticed.
Huh? Go ahead.
Yeah, I never noticed while I was playing the game that was there or that's an.
Well, and most people didn't, but then people made a YouTube channel where it was their prime focus.
Yeah.
So you had to now notice and then have a grievance about it. And it's just like, how insecure are you that you have to control? Like, I don't care. It's just
Listen,
a game. It's like,
There's aliens, the middle class is dead, we've got bigger fish to fry. It's
Uh-huh.
we've got so many more issues.
All I was worried about is my character was so good looking. I'll keep playing it.
Ooh,
That's
you
what-
made
that's
somebody
what-
in
beautiful?
Baldur's Gate or Starfield?
No, in Starfield.
Okay.
Since it's
Okay.
a single player game, you're
Alright.
not like, you know what? If I do multiplayer and there's a creative thing, I try to make the funniest looking, or I try to make myself how I look. But in a single player game,
And
I
that's
try
the
to make it
handsome one.
look so enticing and tasty.
I used to like for hours, like in Skyrim and stuff, try to just like make it look as most as I could like me.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, I'm like, whatever's just, you never see your character.
Yeah.
Whatever the basic one
No,
is.
Logan's
just let's
the
move
same
on to the
way.
game.
Same with decorating the house, which that one always gets me though, where he's like, I have to organize my bookshelves. I'm like, do it here.
In a game?
Do it in real life.
Oh my god, yeah, that's
Ah.
funny. That's me too.
Are you enjoying that game though, Ray?
Yeah, but I mean, the lady I'm playing is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got scars on her face.
Oh, nice.
You know, she
hell
got
yeah.
green hair. She got a big booty. And so when I do the
You're
third
wearing a
person-
shirt with a woman with green hair. There's a theme here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's right now I'm deciding whether I want to do anything that involves killing people. So I'm really at the beginning because it's like the first mission. I pause it because I believe John walked through the room and I was like, "Oh, I'm playing Starfield and I should be not playing Starfield."
It's
So-
okay. He was playing Baldur's Gate.
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
fair's fair. We have another game question here from Lori Howard who says, so we know John doesn't like console games, but have any of you tried Horizon Zero Dawn or Forbidden West? I think you would like it if you like shooting things and fighting animals. So I actually downloaded it.
Mm-hmm.
The first one. I haven't downloaded the Forbidden West yet.
Same.
I want to do it. Like at first I was like, oh, I don't know about this. And then I started watching Let's Plays and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And Mondo has like this 5 or something crazy, like 5 or 10 vinyl collection for the soundtrack of Horizon Zero Dawn,
yeah.
and beautiful artwork in it. And I'm like, I don't even know about this like story, and I want to buy this set, this vinyl set from Mondo.
Dude, the Mondo sets are glorious.
I have a lot of soundtracks from them. I actually have 2 coming. I have the soundtrack to Days Gone, and the soundtrack to the series Last of Us.
Logan just got me the Cowboy Bebop one.
Oh, nice.
It doesn't have real folk blues on it, so I got to get another album. But man, they're great. But Horizon Zero Dawn is a gorgeous game.
Yeah, it
that is
looks
so
gorgeous.
fun to play.
Just not my type of game.
That's really fair.
Yeah. But I'd watch someone play it through all the way through. It's
I feel like Horizon would be more used because it's more of a shooter than like even Starfield.
Yeah, but
is.
it's more of like you look at the person third person, like it's like a
Oh,
Gears of
that's
War.
true. There
It's
is-
like a Gears of War
Yeah,
sort of.
yeah,
You
yeah.
just like and
You want to
I-
be
okay.
first person.
I just don't play those games long enough. I don't stay interested in those types of games long enough. Like I'll think the novelty is great. Like for the first 15 minutes, I probably won't go back to it. It's just the way I've been with those types of games.
All right. Well, Sam Fisher with you guessed it, a One Piece question.
Yes!
Variety recently, and guys, please just like let's limit those to when that's Batman Beyond at this point.
Yeah.
Variety recently reported that apparently One Piece season 2 scripts are finished. They sent them to Rob and everything. Same thing was reported with Sandman. Can you please explain how can shows have next season scripts when not greenlit? Are they overselling for PR? Did they finish the scripts under budget, but then didn't want a smaller budget for the next year, so they moved to season 2? Also, does this up the chances of One Piece season 2? Well, it doesn't hurt having a script.
No, this is a great question, Sam. So a lot of times too, creators will have already mapped out their theories, and so they'll have some stuff done. So they also might say, we have season 2 written. I need to emphasize, though, that anytime somebody has a season written, those episodes are more than likely going to change. There's going to be tweaks and things made throughout, tiny things maybe, or there might be complete overhauls depending on how audiences received the first season, depending on what your actors want to do moving forward if you are having a more collaborative relationship with them. There's so many things that can change there. But oftentimes creators, it behooves them to map out everything so they know their game plan, particularly so they can show it to showrunners so everyone's on board with the same thing. It does potentially increase the chances for a season 2 of One Piece.
PR.
More so, what increases the chances for a season 2 is how many views this show has gotten.
Right.
This broke, I think, views that Stranger Things season 4 had, which is wild for an anime adaptation. So,
and I think Netflix knew this. I think that it's big because it's only because I wouldn't be surprised if they have up to season 4 or 5 written because of the anime has 1,000 like episodes. They have so much material that they could have planned out multiple seasons already.
There's so many things in there that they can pull from. There's so much IP. If you just go and put One Piece into Netflix right now, not only do you have the actual serialized anime, there's all these different movies and one-offs that I didn't know about those. I'm trying to get through the series, and now there's all this other stuff.
Impossible.
That's what I'm gonna watch this weekend.
Heck yeah.
Gotta do it.
I always say I'm gonna there's all this stuff I'm gonna watch, and I end up just watching YouTube.
I keep
I don't do
watching the
that.
same stuff.
Yeah.
I just bought all of season 1 of Broadchurch. I've seen that show so many times, but I don't know. I want David
Comfort.
Tennant to solve a murder for me.
Yeah, it's comfort. Joel Checky writes, Ray Stevenson as Lord Balin looks so damn cool.
Yeah.
The hair, the beard, the outfit, the lightsaber, the voice, his demeanor and countenance, excellent villain.
Yeah, well, and also because we don't know if he's completely a villain. And that's always the most interesting thing to me is when somebody's justifying their actions. They're not mustache twirling. They're like, there's a rhyme and reason for the way I am. And he also seems to respect Ahsoka so much. I'm interested in him.
Yeah, we might get a bit of a character arc where he realizes I've been rooting for the wrong team.
Oh, we the baddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me that hilt. That lightsaber hilt and that lightsaber orange. Orange lightsaber, Come on, Disney.
I like how they got a little of a Game of Thrones with him and Hati.
Yeah.
And even the Inquisitor, which I don't think that's an Inquisitor, but they had an Inquisitor blade.
Yeah.
Very Game of Thrones medieval look. Yeah, it's cool.
I really like the aesthetic.
Let's see. We got Casinema writes, also to answer Ray's question, there is no English dub of Kamen Rider Geats.
Oh.
Nor should there be because English dubs of live action movies and shows are awful.
Hey!
I don't think I agree with that.
Hey,
but
Cinema, I resemble and resent that statement.
I don't agree with that. I understand where you're coming from, but I think there's room for both.
Also, I just want to throw it out there. John Cena, huge anime dub stan. Huge. All right?
He's this, and you can't even see him.
You can't even see him.
And have you seen his drunk? Come on. You can't mess with him.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
If the dubs aren't for you, that's totally fine, but we also don't need to poo-poo them. And also, that helps me pay my bills, so maybe watch them every now and then.
And I'll have you know, all these Miyazaki films I've been going to, I've been doing the dubs.
Yeah. Well, they do a great job on those Miyazaki dubs, too. They're so well directed.
Yeah. If I'm sleeping, I'm watching dub. Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't.
I don't know Japanese or Korean yet. I really should. I really should, but I don't know it, so I gotta listen to it in English, especially if I'm sleepy.
All right, well, we got Lori is back again. Hi, Chris, Ray, and Jonathan.
Hi.
So have you heard the Beyonce team was shopping around her Renaissance tour as a movie for $20 million 2 years ago with no takers? Do you think they should try now if true? Yeah, I don't know if they'll get, I don't know how this pay scale would work on any of these business deals, right?
Yeah.
But strike while they are and it's hot.
Well, and I think Beyonce now, too. Take a page from Taylor Swift. Self-produce this. Don't deal with the AMPTP. Take all that money for yourself because the Bayhive will absolutely come through. If we think that Taylor Swift concert sold out in record time or is projected to make so much money as a movie, Beyonce's Renaissance tour, holy shit.
When is that? Did that already start?
That's already started. Yeah, she just performed in LA recently.
All right. So is she blowing out like how Taylor is, or is it not quite as much? So that's the thing. Like I know we've made the argument it's not going to be as big as Taylor. Like this is a kind of a once in a lifetime phenomenon, and that's true. But even if you're making $50-100 million domestically, and let's say Taylor makes 300 because it's this crazy situation, it's still worth it. Even if you're making 40 million domestically or whatever, like it's still good. Do
Extra
it.
money in the bag.
So
Helps the
she
theaters.
could clear. This was back in May. This is an old thing. But Forbes was saying that she could clear 2.1 billion from the tour, some 500 million more than the 1.6 billion Taylor Swift was projected to earn at that time. So, that's a lot of money. And people love Beyonce. I love Beyonce. I'll
She's
pull a
great.
John. Good Houston kid. Good
Yeah.
Texas kid.
Great performer. Great. She has a huge fan base.
Oh my gosh,
I
yeah.
just think, and this could be, you could say anybody right now, Taylor Swift is just on another level in my eyes. I don't think anyone could touch the sales that she just put on, like any musician. And that's no disrespect to anybody. She's just got this. She's got man. She just has the whole world in her hands right now.
Yeah, right now.
Truly, I think it's that ownership of her own materials. And that's something that I think we as, consumers don't always think about, of these artists don't own their music.
Typically, not when you start out, but
Yeah.
as you go on, like, dude, that was a big thing with the Beatles and then actually a huge falling out between Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney
Yes.
because he said, you should own rights to music, your own music or your own rights to any music. So it's very profitable. So Michael Jackson went and bought all of the Beatles music. He was like, I didn't mean ours.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, rights to music is massive because that's anytime it gets played or whatever, they're paying you, not the record label.
Also, guys, I know we mostly do movie news on here, but if you ever have music questions, Jonathan Voico knows so many things. Knows all the stuff.
Music was my first love before even movies, I'd say, probably.
That
I mean,
makes
like,
sense.
I was exposed to movies before, like, a lot of music, because when you're young, you just listen to what other people, whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I just had, like, such a passion for live music and recorded music, the history of rock and roll and everything. I just absorbed it all.
That's awesome.
Anyway, so moving on, we've got Casinema, who writes, question for Jonathan. That's me. Yesterday, you mentioned you knew the actor who played an evil Red Ranger. Was he the guy who played Psycho Red? Yep, that's him. We're friends. He's a wonderful person, very kind-hearted person. Yeah, we're friends to this day. The Psycho Red Ranger. So there you go.
When we say Psycho Red Ranger, too, we mean that character, not the Red Ranger who committed a murder in real life.
No.
I
Like,
want to be very specific about
here,
this.
let me see if I can- he looked like this.
There was a Power Ranger.
Like, this was the character, and yeah. So,
Yeah.
And this is the actor.
Oh, that's a really cool suit, too.
Yeah, this is the
Oh,
actor.
that's rad.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to replace
I like that.
and do that, and this is the actor.
Oh, hi, buddy.
So there you go.
Oh, he's handsome. Of course
Yeah.
he's a Power Ranger. Good for him.
course.
He's a good guy. All right.
But tell me about this murder. What happened?
Oh, yeah, I didn't know about
Dude,
that.
there was like a
honestly.
yacht stabbing or
I'll look-
something
I'll look it
with
up.
one
I'll
of the
look it
Power
up.
Rangers. It was wild. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. I
we-
don't know enough about it to expound on it, but
Now we got King Tannic back here. I haven't heard from you in a while,
oh,
King Tannic.
Tannic, what's up,
Tannic.
Israel?
He writes, Happy Friday, crew. Curious to hear your anticipation level for Ghibli's The Boy and the Heron. Well, since I'll read the rest of this question, but since I've been seeing all of these for the first time and going to the theaters for the Studio Ghibli festival, I'm very excited. So, TIFF reviews have started coming out, and it sounds fantastic, as well as the news that Miyazaki won't be retiring. That came out today. Love to hear your thoughts.
I mean, the fact that he's not retiring, while amazing, also kind of worries me. Just because I don't know if you guys have seen this video of him. I love this video of Miyazaki just chain smoking. And it gives you such validity as an artist because he talks about his own like self-doubt and a little bit of self-hatred that he has while he's creating something, of just how unhappy he is with something. He's like, but this is part of the process. You're not going to like this for a while and you just have to get through it and you just have to make it. Which is beautiful to have somebody who is at that caliber, who's an absolute maestro, still have those feelings of I'm not good enough or I'm an imposter. It's kind of incredible to see someone else feel that when you're not at that level at all, like me. But man, this movie too, just like reviewing the trailer again right now, the animation is so stunning. That opening sequence of him running through fire and everything is so incredible looking. I love these movies. I think they're so cool.
What's this new one called again?
The Boy and the Heron.
Okay.
It's
Yeah. But actually, I'd like to hear Quintana's thoughts since
Yeah.
he, he's the anime
He's
guy.
the
Not
anime
that that's
guy.
anime, but
But yeah, well, and also if you have not already subscribed, obviously, to Robservations, you should. King Tannic has an incredible show over on that channel, The Otaku Experience. You guys should be checking that out, especially if you want to stay in the know about anime or any Japanese films that are being made. I mean, he really knows his stuff, you guys. So please check that out.
All right, we got a couple more here, so let's run through these. Jesse has a turtle. If movie theaters allowed you to bring in any food you want, well, that doesn't apply to Ray. Would you bring anything differently? Not Ray. I would maybe bring like just snacks that maybe are cheaper or something like that. But I mean, I like popcorn, so what am I gonna do? Pop popcorn at home and bring it in with me?
I like that you're saying if movie theaters allowed snacks. I do bring snacks.
You know what?
And-
I make sure I buy snacks, but then look at me. I always need a little extra, and that little extra is too expensive. Becomes too expensive, so I bring the little extra myself. I'm sorry if I have to watch a 3-hour movie. It's gonna be 3 hours worth of snacks.
I usually bring like Trader Joe's. This is so boring. I bring Trader Joe's dried
Pumpkin
chili
spice?
mango.
Oh, no.
I would bring so much pumpkin spice. I bring dried chili mangoes, and sometimes I bring pomegranate seeds like a weirdo. And then I usually now my movie theater sells bubble water. I don't like soda, but so now I can get caffeinated bubble water, which is insane. I like that. Or I get cocktails at the bar there.
I love
the Regal.
My parents, like where I grew up, our backyard, there's a pomegranate tree.
Oh, that's cool.
I guess my only rule against any snack is not a snack that would actually, like that's very like messy. That would cause like the workers to have to clean more. Nothing like that. You know what I mean? Like I would never bring in like a chocolate cake and smear it on the floor or have it on the floor. I have that sort of. I at least am considerate in sort of that way.
So you make sure that Chipotle stays on your lap.
Yeah. That
You gotta.
Chipotle, I have a bag, and so any rice would fall into the bag. You just don't want to make it.
I kind of don't want to sit next to you when you're eating Chipotle. at a
Well,
movie.
that was only one time, and it was only because we had that rented room for the Batman. It was a personal theater.
Yeah.
So I was able to make sure I didn't make a complete mess. But in a full theater, like Barbie, like when we went, I would never bring something that has the smell of hot sauce and everyone smelling that. That's just a little rude to
Yeah.
me,
The
you know
Batman,
what I mean?
I just smuggled cocktails from Yard House in my tum-tum.
Yeah. Except McDonald's fries. Bring those in any movie. I love the smell of
I
that.
love their fries.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
but their
good.
fries have like a serious half-life. When they start to cool,
Yeah,
they
it's
That's
sucks.
very true. You have
But
to eat
tell
them
me, the
like an
smell.
Mhm.
Everyone.
Oh, does it smell good?
It's the smell.
Oh, you don't. Oh,
It's like the
I don't know.
Matrix. It's
Yeah.
the smell.
It's okay. It's
Sorry,
okay that I
Chris.
can't smell it. I love that you can. I also can't smell farts, so my life's kind of blessed.
Matt says hello
let's test
and
this.
just says no question, just solidarity with the strikers. Flex
Aw.
heart.
Thank you so much, Matt. That is very, very sweet of you. Gosh, because we're in 120 some odd days for the writer's strike. We are in the 50s for the actors now. It's gone on a lot longer than I think anyone anticipated, and I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
And that's it for questions.
all we got?
We've done run through them.
Oh, what a great way to end. Lovely. Well, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much to our members for writing in these fantastic questions for all of us. We super appreciate you, especially when you tune in on Batman Beyond Crew Days. We really, really appreciate that. I know it says the John Campea Show, so when you tune in when John's not here, it just means so much to me. I want to thank everybody in the room here. Ray Ora.
Yep. Have a good weekend. Be safe, everyone.
I want to thank Jonathan Voica.
I will see you Monday.
And I want to thank me, Chris Carr.
Yay!
Couple shameless plugs before we go, you guys. My husband and I own a studio called Speak Friends Studio. We do dialect classes and voiceover classes. If you want to get in on that, do that. But more importantly, y'all remember Amy Newman? Light of my life. Love Amy.
Yeah, love you, Amy.
She and I are doing a podcast, and that is going to drop in the next few weeks. We're doing a show called Two Filthy Casuals, a safe space to ask all of your fandom questions without any judgment. So you can ask what could be the silliest question about a fandom with no judgment, and a fandom expert is going to help answer your questions on that. So we'll be dropping those in a few weeks.
Heck yeah.
So make sure you're following me on social or following Amy. Amy's amazing. You definitely should be following her on social to keep up with her.
And follow me in real life, like walk behind
stalk
me.
you.
Yeah.
Don't stalk Ray. Oh my gosh.
At Target, come on. I need someone to carry that extra basket.
Oh no.
About
I
to
don't
buy
think
some
stalkers
things.
typically help.
They usually don't help you.
That's the irony. It's like they're there all the time, but it's like you
But
can help,
they're-
you can lend a
You
hand.
got an armful of groceries.
no,
and-
no, I'm just no, I can't. I'm not even here right now.
I just want me
Does
and my
Bane
lotion.
stalk you?
I'm just really kind of busy right
All
now.
right, I'm putting my mic away.
All right. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. Be kind. See you later.
Later.